Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm gonna talk about how I prepared to come to Germany for my master program. I'm gonna share my experience and some tips that I learned along the way. So I'm gonna split this video into three parts. First, pre-college, second, college, and third, post-college. So there are gonna be timestamps in the description section below and in the pinned comment section. So feel free to skip to the sections if you feel like it. So without further ado, let's just jump in. So during my military service from 2014 to 2016, I had a chance to look back my life abroad because on duty like 1 a.m. or 4 a.m. I was alone, like sitting on a desk or standing on a desk or something, and like nobody was there was nothing to do, so I just had to kill my time, thinking about random stuff and then writing down. Anyway, the more I thought about my life abroad, the more realization I had how much I enjoyed my life abroad. I also realized how much I grew whenever I put myself out there to like different languages, different cultures. So I tentatively set Germany as my next destination after I get my bachelor's degree in the US. I started doing some research about Germany by Googling and reading some blogs. I just wanted to see how people like make decision to go to Germany and how they prepare to go to Germany, like what master programs there are, if there are English programs for masters, that kind of stuff. So in college, so my original plan at college was to take one German course, like the most basic, which is A1, to get the basis of German language and participate in like a variety of events, German events, to get to know about the culture and the recent German stuff. That was pretty much all to get the basis before going to Germany. But I had a really nice surprise where my college turns out to have really good German program led by a wonderful professor. So taking the German 101 class taught by the professor turns out to be one of the best decisions that I ever made because it just gave me so many opportunities. So this is where I found out all the like ongoing German activities at school, which was German house, German club, German activities, and Hendrix in Germany program, which I'm gonna elaborate. German house is where a German coordinator, native German speaker, lives with students in a designated house, which is a student residence hall, student residence house more like, and organize activities more than 4 times a week, including cooking night, movie night, board game night, and like series night. So this German house thing was pretty selective, where I had to submit an application. I think I had to have a pretty decent German grade, and I needed to have a motivation letter. So I ended up getting accepted to the German house, which was very exciting, but I had to retract my decision because I thought I had a lot on my plate other than the German school, because the German house thing was pretty demanding, but at the time I wanted to have more time to study for my biology courses. Although I wanted to become a member of the house and do those cool activities, I just thought that I wasn't gonna be a good member because I had other stuff going on. Yeah, I mean everybody had other stuffs going on, but I thought I couldn't handle those effectively. So I decided to live in a normal residence hall and just participate in the activities. And then there was another activity called German Coffee Hour, where a professor leads a casual conversation in German with several students at 4 p.m. every Friday, so that everybody can make it. There was one strict rule, which is we need to speak German, but other than that, everything was pretty casual and then chill. So it was really nice. We used to order like a cup of coffee, talk about random things from like how is your classes going and my plans on the weekends. It was really good to have those opportunities to verbalize my thoughts in German, with a professional, because the professor was there like every week. So I ended up joining the conversation pretty much every week, except for the occasions where I had like 3 exams on the following Monday and Tuesday. Also in the German class, my professor told me about this wonderful opportunity, which is called Hendrix in Germany program, where selected students are given a chance to go to Germany, specifically Bonn, with my professor to take 2 classes, language immersion and cultural immersion. So language immersion took place at the Goethe Institute, which is the best German learning institute, and the cultural immersion took place in many different cities, because during the weekends we always had a trip to like neighboring cities or sometimes farther away, such as Cologne, Mainz, Bonn, Trier, and Quakenburg. So the best two things about this program were the fact that my German professor was coming along with us, and it was fully funded except for the flight ticket. So after we went to Bonn, we stayed there for 5 weeks. In the morning, we always had language classes at the Goethe Institute with other international students. So after lunch, we had either discussion session where we talked about like what's interesting about German culture, like daily stuff, or trip to another city if it's close. Mainz was pretty close and Cologne was pretty close. I think we went Cologne twice. And during all the biology classes that I took. So I decided to write a short bachelor thesis, even though it's not required for me. So I asked the professor if I could join the lab and write a bachelor thesis based on the research. He said yes, and it turns out to be a great research experience that I did. And the second thing that I noticed is the admission exam. Some German schools had admission exam as a second stage of the application process. For example, the first one is the documentation process, and second one is the admission exam, and the third one is the interview. I think this admission exam was one of the hardest things that I had to prepare for, because firstly, I didn't know how much material they're gonna test me, and secondly, after I figured out the material, it was kind of a lot, along with the other stuff that I was doing in my senior year in college. So I just ended up using my spare time to study for it. As soon as my last semester in college began, I started working on my application. Along with writing my bachelor thesis and studying for the admission exam, I worked pretty hard on my motivation essay and CV. CV didn't give me like a very hard time, but the motivation essay, I had to work a lot on that. So I got my first draft done and I revised it a couple times, and I took it to the writing center to revise it a couple times, and I also show it to my US American friends, and I also show it to my advisor. I also show it to my career service. I really worked hard on the motivation letter, especially the revision. I think the revision is the most critical part. So I didn't know this when I was writing the motivation essay, but after applying to schools and scholarship programs, I noticed that this writing The process of writing the motivation essay was very pivotal to my life abroad because not only it helped me with the admission application but also the scholarship application. When I was writing my motivation essay for scholarship application DAAD, I think I didn't put much effort because my motivation essay was pretty much established. So my last and hectic semester was done in college and I finally graduated. I finally got my degree, bachelor's degree. I was so happy. My break officially started, but I couldn't get lazy too much because I still had some applications to work on because each grad school has distinct deadlines. I think one of my deadlines was February and the other was like September, so it varies a lot depending on your grad school. So this is one of the reasons why we should get started early. Anyway, after graduation, I kept working on my applications while hearing some good news from the universities. So I started searching for dorms and my life in Germany, like what paperwork that I have to do to live in Germany and study some more German culture, German language, and some history stuff. I just read random stuff on the internet to educate myself about Germany. And 3 months before my semester started, I made my final decision, and then I sent my documents to school. I sent my check to school, the semester fee, and here I am. So in the beginning of this video, I promised to give you some tips that I learned along the way. I don't have many, but I got one, which is the most important thing. Start early. I cannot stress this enough how important it is to start early for the following reasons. Firstly, I was able to spot the whole of my academic status in order to come to Germany just because I started early. Because my undergrad program was in the US, my program was obviously most suitable for American grad schools and med school because my school was pretty known for pre-med program. So for example, my biology bachelor degree doesn't require bachelor thesis, whereas a lot of German master program requires or recommends to have bachelor thesis. I think it was half and half in my case. One half wanted me to have bachelor thesis, the other was recommended but not required. But I interpreted this recommended as sort of required because it definitely increases my chance to get accepted to the German universities, so I just decided to write one. So because I started thinking about going to Germany early, I was able to spot this. Or let's say I spotted this just before I graduated from college or just before I applied to the schools. It was gonna be a disaster, I think. I mean, it was gonna be still alright, but it will certainly lower my chance to get accepted to the school. And secondly, starting thinking about early allows you to build the reasons why you come to Germany. This doesn't sound very important, but it is very important in my opinion to have enough time to think about why you want to come to Germany, because that's gonna lead to better motivation essay, better interview, better CV, stuff like that. For example, the deadline of DAAD Master Studies Scholarship is a year before your program starts. Moreover, because I started thinking about coming to Germany pretty early, I was able to join all the cool programs concerning German culture, German language, such as Hendrix in Bonn program. I think that experience in my curriculum vitae and my motivation essay definitely contributed to the acceptance to the German schools. So it's good to start 2 years, 3 years before your program starts. So these are the overarching reasons to start early, which pretty much covers almost everything I said. So this is all I want to share in this video. I tried making everything brief. Obviously there are points that I missed, I think, but I definitely want to make some videos about the points that I made here, such as scholarship and how to choose a master program. But if you think I missed something big or want some more advice concerning this topic, leave it down in the comment section below. I hope you got some value out of this video. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up to support this channel and consider subscribing because I'll be posting a video every single week about my life in Germany. So stay healthy and have a productive day. Bye bye.